Okay, so to be fair, it was called in for GW 34 onwards and the GW average was only 32, but still it's quite frustrating. We dropped down to 35k overall, which I'm actually quite pleased with. Any week you score 28 PTS you expect a far bigger drop than 6k places. With our first big DGW upcoming, let's review last week's piss-poor effort first. Nick Pope got the start over new signing David De Gea. Correct by a whole point. Joy. Annoyingly, it was another second-half goal conceded by Burnley. In fact, they have only conceded 2 in the first half of their last 9 games. Yet they only have 1 clean sheet across those games. So basically it means if you're checking your score in play, never assume those 6 PTS for Pope are going to stick. In front of him, our decision to shop at Lidl certainly didn't pay off, as Jack Stevens saw red and dished us a really handy -2 PTS. Cheers fella. It wasn't a lot better alongside him, as Lewis Dunk and Ben Chilwell combined for 3 PTS. In all fairness, after the GW started with a goalless Merseyside derby, not another one of the 18 teams kept a clean sheet. Our midfield were firing blanks for fun, as Heung-min Son, Willian, Riyad Mahrez and Kennedy totaled 9 PTS for the updates 11. 1 PT less than Jack Cork scored on his own. FPL is weird. Up top you got the captaincy decision right again. I've lost count of the amount of times the poll vote has come out spot on, and it's a big reason for why we didn't drop too heavily overall. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was named, and he was the only player to register a return with a goal against Southampton. 12 PTS was a massive help, especially as most other big-name strikers failed to score, including Harry Kane. Well, sort of. Lastly, Ashley Barnes came in and did F***ck all. As expected. If he scores a single goal whilst we own him, I'll be astounded. GW 33 over and attentions turn quickly to one of the biggest weeks of the year. 8 teams feature in GW 34 and it's time for big decisions to be made. Bench boost or triple captain? All week I have been deliberating which one gets used this week and which in GW 37. I've changed my mind more times than I can tell you, but what ended up sealing it for me was actually the Spurs' appeal for Kane's goal. If a player and team are so intent on going to those lengths for a player to win the Golden Boot, then there's no way his DGW in 37 can be ignored for the triple captaincy. Therefore, the bench boost ship wins this week. With this decision locked in, I felt an 8 PT hit was justifiable to complement the lineup. Aubameyang out, Lukaku in, Salah out, Pogba in, Stevens out, Vertonghen in, Jack Stevens ban, and Mo Salah's uncertainty around playing 90 minutes were the key factors here, so we decided to double up on United's attack whilst adding a Spurs defender to the mix, given that they have the 2 DGWs. So with no one benched this week, let's have a run through our entire 15-man starting lineup. FPL's highest-scoring keeper David De Gea makes his FPL Updates 11 debut. A favorable double for the world's best shot stopper should hopefully bring a decent points haul. I'm not convinced that applies to our second keeper Nick Pope. Aside from a lack of clean sheets, I think that Tom Heaton features in at least one of the games. We shall just have to see. At the back, all 5 are on a double. Jan Vertonghen is in because he has 2 DGWs. Faces Manchester City and Brighton in this one. Maybe not the easiest of doubles, but we can hope. Lewis Dunk, Ben Chilwell, Andreas Christensen and Matt Loden all join him. I fear that a few of these will rotate a tad, but if they get minutes, there's points there. Our midfield includes our only non-DGWER, as Kennedy is involved. 25 PTS in his last 3 games, and facing an Arsenal team heavily focused on the Europa, I think he could deliver here. Newcastle have become a real force at home since the turn of the year, and I think they win this. Paul Pogba is back in our lineup for the first time since GW4. We very nearly brought him in last week, so it's a little painful we didn't, but with such a great-looking double he looks cracking value at sub £8 million. The other 3 are players we are definitely pinning hopes upon. Willian, Riyad Mahrez and Heung-min Son have some nice games this week and will look to improve on their already impressive FPL seasons so far. Hopes are also sitting heavily on 2 of our front 3. Romelu Lukaku currently sits 4th overall in FPL points, and with WBA and Bournemouth up this week that could change. He scored against both of these teams in the reverse fixture, and that would be greatly received if he could do it again. Harry Kane is the other big hitter with our hopes on him. Tougher games than Rom, but Manchester City are missing Fernandinho and Brighton are getting close to safety, so maybe this could be a good week to face them. Last up is Ashley Barnes. Cheap and in decent form, he made his way into our team. Although he has 2 games, they are against Leicester and Chelsea, so far from easy. At this point I'd be over the moon if he managed a goal this week. So there we have it. Bench boost action, 14 players on a double and a couple decent captaincy options. With a sitting 35k overall, we are well within our pre-season of the top 100k target, but we now want a top 10k finish. With our lineup this week, free hit next week and Harry Kane triple captain in GW37, I certainly think that's achievable. What will go a massive way to helping our push will be the choice for the armband this week. We have 2 or 3 standout options now, so if you have the chance to vote on who we should name this week, then feel free to do so below. All votes appreciated, and the best of luck to you all. For any last-minute help, feel free to tweet either myself or the bid dogs at @plupdates, and we will try and give you a nudge in a positive direction. Thanks again for reading. Written by FPL Guru, @FPL_Guru.